It looks like we have the star of the show has joined us, as well as Barksy. Let me see if we can get Barksy in here. And then we'll turn off this racket that I have. Hey, Gav. There he is.
Hello.
Let me turn this camera around. So we get the camera made for, or face made for radio. I got to get that right. I got to get more professional, Danny. I got to cut down on the beers before the show.
Oh, you're drunk as a skunk, aren't you?
No. I wouldn't say a skunk. How's your weekend been going? Cheers.
Yeah, not too bad. Cheers,
What do you got there? Some red wine?
I have, because Gustav told me last week that professionals drink red wine.
That's what artists drink. That's what he said, right? If you're an artist,
yeah.
If you're an artist, you drink the red wine.
So I've got Ribena.
I'm drinking gluten-free.
Oh, wow.
I've
noticed that about you. You're quite good with all that.
I'm just trying to drink the gluten-free so I can get straight to the alcohol and skip the gluten.
Yeah.
Trying to get this straight in there.
I've got my dog with me. I don't think I can get him up on the camera. Yeah.
Is this that's the older dog, right?
That's the old dog, yeah.
Hey there, Gustav. Hi, Ian. Let me say hello to some people here. Welcome, everybody. Hey, Ken. Welcome. Welcome,
Hi,
everybody. I think we've got Gavin in the wings here. So whenever you get a chance, Gavin, go ahead and request to join. We'll see if we can get you in here so we can stop boring the living shit out of everybody else here.
You had a busy week?
Yeah, not too bad. I painted a door in my house.
Oh, that is a busy week.
Well, I mean, it was a weekend thing. So I guess that counts as part of the week because it's the weekend. But I painted a door. It seems like here, almost every door I have is some kind of version of brown. And yeah, I'm just, some people like brown doors. I'm just not a brown door guy, especially it makes it kind of dark. So we're painting doors around these parts.
Nice and bright and white.
Here comes Gavin.
Here he is.
Hey there, Gavin. Welcome.
How you doing? High
cool.
five. Yeah, that's it.
We're high-fiving all over this place. Welcome to you, Gavin, to the Street
Cheers,
Badass
man.
live stream here. It's an honor to have you join.
You too.
And
it's the first time. No, it's the first time I'm doing this, so it's a real honor to be a part of it.
Well, a pleasure to have you here. Well, I hope that Danny's kind to you.
I'm always kind.
I'm sure he will.
Well, Danny's going to be kind, okay. So what part of the world are you speaking to us from today, Gavin?
From London. Well, not more Surrey, but it's still London.
So that's kind of Danny's neck of the woods.
Oh, is it? Where are you from, Danny?
Oh, I'm in Essex. So this is the first time I think we've had two, well, not Brits, but English blokes. Because we've had all sorts so far, haven't we? I think the closest we got was Northern Ireland, or Ireland. I think Northern Ireland for Denise.
See what Danny's doing right now, Gavin, is he's just pointing out that I'm outnumbered.
Yeah, you are.
So if I got two guys from England here, do I have to drink my beer with pinky up like that? Is that how?
No, if you don't mind, yeah. If you don't mind.
Probably not out of a glass like this either, right?
No, definitely not. Well, there's me with this though. So
I've got
cheers.
Something.
What do you got there?
Cheers.
Yeah, you got the right glass.
Yeah,
I got the wrong glass.
So what are you, Croydon way? Croydon area?
Yeah.
Or further down?
Further down to Reigate, that area.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just outside of London, but I used to actually live in Shepherd's Bush.
Oh,
So
right, okay.
I've come down here, been here for about a year now, and it's nice.
Yeah. Lovely
Nice.
part of the world around there. It's quite
So
woody as well, isn't it? It's not
it's
that built up. Yeah.
no, it's true. Yeah, full of countryside. It's a bit different from Shepherd's Bush and White City, but I think I prefer it. So you know what I mean.
Much nicer.
I'm trying to get comfortable here. It's getting difficult. Hey, I've got my dog here. I don't know if he's going to cooperate though. Hugo, come here.
My one's sitting by my feet. He's just been in the sea for a swim, so
he's growling
he's
at me.
Wet.
It's okay, buddy. Here, let's show. It's Hugo.
Ah, look at that.
That's good.
Hugo just growled at me because I grabbed him though, because he's kind of like that. He's not not real happy with me grabbing him.
He don't like you being carried. He's not very calm.
No,
usually dogs are fine with that. That's a bit different.
No, he's a little different.
Yeah,
he wants to do his own thing. He's kind of like that.
It's a bit like a cat. Cats don't usually like being picked up.
No, they don't.
No.
You just got called a cat, Hugo.
Basically, yeah.
And he deserved it.
Are you calling from? Are you calling from America, Todd?
I'm actually from America. From Michigan. I lived a long time in Florida. I'm in France right now.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah, so my wife's English, so I'm even more outnumbered.
You are.
But so my wife's English, so we live here in France, and then I fly back and forth to the States. So we're in France, just a little bit north of Spain. So the biggest city to me is Barcelona.
Okay.
You know, that's kind of the closest biggest city. But that's Spain. That's where we go. When I fly in and out, before COVID times, that's where I would fly out of. Now I got to go in through Paris. Yeah. Because I don't want to add another border or anything like that. Yeah, I wanted to call out to everybody who joined. Thanks very much for joining. If you guys have any kind of questions, there's a question box, or you can just put them in the comments. Because we've got Gavin here, and I guess we can start asking a little bit about your photography. Did you have anything that you want to start off with there, Danny? Or
yeah, I've got a few questions. So I've noticed that quite a lot of the stuff you do, or I've noticed on your feed, is Westminster, and then you've got Speaker's Corner.
Yeah.
Quite they're not very far from each other. Do you try and do one area? Just try and stick to one area?
Sometimes. I mean, when I done the street photography, when I first started, I was doing street photography around London. So it was Camden, Brixton, Oxford Street, all those sort of vibrant areas.
Yeah.
So with Speaker's Corner in Westminster, it's only because they're projects that I'm staying in them certain areas.
Right. Okay.
But if I do street photography, then it's going to be anywhere, really. So I don't really, not really focus on one sort of area unless it's a project.
And I noticed your feed goes quite fast. So you've been doing street photography for a little while now.
About, I think it's 7 years now. I started in 2014, 13, around that time. Yeah. And from then just progress. So yeah.
And how did you like the two series that stood out for me, or the more recent ones that I've seen, are the one you're doing just outside Westminster Station, where you're taking pictures of people just as they get a glimpse of Big Ben.
They come through, yeah.
Do you want to tell us about that one first?
Yeah, sure. Because that came by mistake. That project is I was standing there. I knew that area had a good light trap. So I thought, okay, when I first started, I'd walk past it once. I was like, oh, yeah, that's a good area. Just get some light shadows and blah, blah. So then about 6 months later, I went there to do that. And when I was standing outside the station, I realised that people were coming out and realising Big Ben is just there. Because as a tourist, you expect to see like the Statue of Liberty just outside of, a metro station.
Yeah.
So that's the sort of surprise they were getting. And I was like, oh, okay, this is actually quite good. This is actually interesting. that these reactions are coming out. So I thought, let me just take a picture of one person doing it, and that picture came out really well. And I thought this is good. So then started doing more and more, and now that's how the project started. It's by pure mistake, not mistake, but it's just a coincidence of me being there, and realizing people have been surprised by seeing a Big Ben just as they come out the station. So
I actually think it's a really clever project. It's however it come about that it's a really good idea for a project because it's exactly the same place every time, so you're getting a different person on each time.
Yeah, the reactions as well. Like I do miss some good ones if I move area. So most of the time I stand on the same spot, but I do sometimes change. But then you do miss some good shots from there. But it's something which I think is quite unique to that sort of area, and especially now, with Big Ben being changed and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
With that as well, it's only certain times of the year that I can actually do that, because from October to about now is when you could do, with the light coming down into that area, so that's when you could get the good shots in.
Oh, that's
the shadows. Yeah, so the sun moves, and of course the sun moves, but so from March to about September, there's not really, I can't do much because I don't use my flash in that area. I just rely on the sun of the sun trap.
Yeah.
And as you can see in the pictures, that's how I get a really good effect from it. So during summertime, it's a no-go. So it's quite a limited time when I could go there. Plus with work as well, so I have to go there when I can and take these shots. So and it's like fishing, you go there, you're hoping for the best, and maybe one comes out good, maybe none. So
Hey, speaking of flash, I did notice that you do a lot of flash photography, and I know that we have quite a few people that are part of Street Badass that we featured before that really get into flash photography. Would you have any kind of tips that you would offer people as far as shooting flash? I noticed you shoot a lot of flash at festivals.
Yeah.
And then you're shooting flash at Speaker's Corner. Is there a reason why you choose to shoot at those venues as opposed to the Big Ben?
Because I think me walking on the street, I would like to do, like I say, Bruce Gilden style, walking down off the street with the flash in people's faces and so on and so forth. But I think for me, I don't really like doing that, especially a tall black guy walking up to them and taking a flash in their face, and I'll end up in Paddington police station. So for me, there's that thing where I do have my boundaries, but with Speaker's Corner and with Notting Hill Carnival or any festival, there's a sort of a open contract where you could sort of do this sort of thing, So it's,
they sort of expect it.
Yeah, they do expect it. So then I could get away with it. I mean, 1 or 2 times I have done flash shots on the street, but it's not really that's not my style in that sort of sense. Only if it's sort of a Speaker's Corner or festivals and stuff.
Have you ever had anybody get upset with you at Speaker's Corner from taking their picture, or has that gone pretty smoothly?
I've had 1 or 2 reactions. One speaker who actually didn't like it. Usually the speakers there, they're quite fine with you taking pictures of them. They sort of like that because it's attention, and what they want is attention. So if you're standing there, if you've got one person standing while you're shouting, wherever you are shouting, then that's good, because then it's more people come and listen to what you're saying. So they like it if I do take pictures. They don't mind if I do take the pictures. I do show them as well sometimes. Some of them do see it, some of them don't. So sorry, what's the question again? So it's got off.
So what sort of reaction did?
With the reactions to Speaker's Corner, is 1 or 2. One guy said, what are you doing? And that's fine. I'm not going to say anything about it. But most of the time, it's fine with Speaker's Corner. With the crowd, it's a different thing. Where I've taken a picture of not the crowd per se, but just of the speaker, and one person didn't like it, so he was very in my face, and it really wasn't a picture of him. But then the nicest thing from it was 2 of the speakers who are regular. They came and they usually do a clapping, song for whatever they're doing and they would do clapping and singing, and they surrounded me and protected me from the guy who was actually shouting at me. So the guy just went off.
Oh, that's
so
great.
That's quite nice, yeah. But the crowd don't like it, which is understandable because they're not there to be for them to take a picture of them. So yeah, it's that's the rule around Speaker's Corner. I mean, you can take pictures of the crowd. I've taken pictures of the crowd and got away with it. But you're really there for the speakers anyway, not really the crowd. Some of the crowd don't mind, but yeah.
Hey, so Gavin, we've got Frida is making a statement here. I wanted to read it to you. Glad you're not Bruce Gilden, but Gavin Robinson. So happy to see your face now in combination with your photography. I adore your work so much. Biggest admiration and love from Berlin. So you've got a fan from Berlin there.
Yeah, she's good. Yeah, thank you. Cheers. Bruce Gilden, but the thing about Bruce Gilden is that's my hero in photography, and really and truly he's my only one in photography. That's the reason why I like doing the flash, because I saw his work and I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is exactly what I think photography should be like, of people on the streets. So that's when then I thought, okay, I need to do that. Although I couldn't do exactly what he did, going around and doing what he does. But still, with Speaker's Corner, I thought there's an angle of me doing that sort of photography through Speaker's Corner and through Notting Hill Carnival. So yeah, he is my sort of he's my guy.
I think of him as kind of like the Elvis of street photography.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Because he's like right now, like. There are lots of great street photographers, don't get me wrong, but I'm kind of the same way with the flash. I find it really electrifying and kind of, exciting.
Yeah.
And I shoot a lot of flash too, but I feel like when I'm shooting it, I get, it's almost like it's hard to stop because you kind of fall in love with like the product of what you're doing. Even if it's a bad shot, it's still kind of exciting because it was flash.
Yeah, that's true. I think flash, I'm not saying flash, you have to use flash. You don't have to use flash. But I do like this, what flash gives in a picture. It gives it more emphasis of what you're actually looking at, that band moment is there. If I didn't use flash in Speaker's Corner, then there'll be a massive difference, I think. And I think that's the reason why.
Absolutely. It's almost kind of like what's there plus squared or something like that with the flash. It's amazing. I love flash personally. Hey, we've got a question here from Ian with Motor Features. Gavin, what's your ratio of shots to get that one keeper?
So say when I used to do it, ratio of shots, maybe, I don't know, that's a good question, maybe about 50. If we go on a day out, you're expecting at least one from a day out. When I used to shoot photography a lot, I'll be going out in the streets a lot. Go in the streets a lot, but yeah, expect at least 51. One, I'll say.
So 51. So if you go out and shoot, are you usually coming home with at least one shot? Because you kind of know when you get the one shot.
Yeah.
Even when it happens, it's like, boom, I got it. I got the shot.
Yeah, 100%.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, it is like that. Yeah. I mean, there's been a few occasions where I've gone out and it's nothing. But most of the time, I'm quite happy with maybe one or two. And I always say to myself as well, during the year, you're going to make at least, I always put this affirmation in myself, during the year, you're going to make at least 3 really, really, really good shots. And I think that's my thing to keep going by, So, yeah.
So 3's the number. What about you, Danny? What
really good ones,
Three for the year?
3 like classic ones. You think, okay, that one's going to go around, make millions of pounds of money, which it doesn't.
I like the way you're thinking.
So yeah.
Let me know. Hey, Danny, when you go out, what's basically your ratio?
Yeah, that's interesting. You say like 50. So you saying like out of 50 shots, you might get one shot?
Yeah, about it. Yeah, because I just because I should have bought my camera before to bin it, but just boop, 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 and then yeah.
Are you shooting from the hip a lot of times, or are you shooting?
So I do shoot for the hip because I use a flip with the cameras. It's Sony RX4, and sometimes I do shoot for the hip. Sometimes I do, but I never ever use the view lens because when I first started photography, it was from the mobile phone. So I was always used to looking at a screen and then taking a shot. And I've always kept it to that method. So with my camera, I never ever use a viewfinder. Even with Speed's Corner, I always use the LCD screen. So sometimes with that, because it flips up, I could then like look down and see what I'm looking at, and yeah.
That's super handy. So what about your ratio, Danny?
It's interesting because I think it does depend on what sort of day you've got. If you've got a really bright day, like for instance, if you're out on like an event like Pride or the Carnival or something like that, I think you're going to get a lot more good shots. You know, if you just go out on an odd day on a weekend, you'll be lucky maybe coming back with, I don't know, a handful. You know, but yeah, on the big events, you should be getting a fair few decent shots because there's so much going on. So you know, you've always got a good chance.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Hey, so Gavin, I wanted to ask you about one of your pictures that I saw on your feed. So
yeah, sure.
You have one called Welsh Wedding. What is going on in that picture, man?
That was
there's like a whole bunch of dudes. It almost looks like they're wrestling or something like that.
Yeah, because it's my girlfriend's friend's wedding, and of course Welsh, and they do the ceremony, which is when the groom, he takes off all his clothes and does some sort of, and I thought, wow, I wish I had my camera. That's actually from my mobile phone, so I actually do wish I had my camera then. I never knew that they get to that level of what they were doing. And,
so
it's not
let me understand correctly. So they're getting like totally naked, or just...
no, just the tops, and it's
okay.
It's like a song came on, and it's the man thing, and it's quite good. They wanted me to take They wanted me to take my top off as well, and I ran away. I remember that.
I would have run too.
Can I come to one of these weddings next time?
Yeah, sure. It was the most drunk I ever got at a wedding because they had tequilas on the tables, and it was just ridiculous. I had actual alcohol poisoning. So I've never ever
pumping, stomach pumping, everything.
No,
tequila.
It was just drinking water and eating apples the next day. I don't know why, but yeah. It was a really good wedding. It was fantastic.
Was you the photographer for the wedding, or was you just a guest?
No, I was just a guest. But I'm actually friends now with one of the photographers who was there, so I hope she sees it. Yeah.
Hey, we have a question here from Frida. You choose people who want to be shown and flashed. So I guess she's wanting to know whether you're kind of asking them beforehand.
No.
I think she was saying that that's how you're different to Bruce. I think.
In that sense, yeah, which is true. Yeah, I mean, with Bruce, yeah, he's out and about. He's at Times Square, he's wherever, and he's doing that. But I'm not that at all. But in the same respect, say with Notting Hill Carnival, I don't shoot. I don't say, I go out there and I take a picture of it. Like the picture of the two girls with the balloons, the blue balloons. That's one of my favourite pictures. But I never said to them, "Oh, I'm going to take a picture of you," and then they were actually annoyed that I took that picture.
Yeah, but you got the picture.
but that actually kind of makes the fact that you can see that they're a little bit annoyed. They're not super pissed off. It actually kind of makes that picture. That's what makes it. Is the fact they're a little bit pissed off because they're kind of scary.
Yeah.
They could probably take me if we fought.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, because I don't think they expected me to go up there because I was walking. I saw them. And I said to my girl, "So let me take a picture of them." And they weren't doing what they were doing then, but I could just spot they're doing the same sort of outfits and two blue balloons. Let me just see what they're doing, and then just went bang, and they were like, "Whoa." Because they were doing helium balloons, I think that's the reason why they were so pissed off.
It was okay. I thought they were blowing up balloons. I didn't know that they were doing helium balloons.
It's Carnival.
High off of it.
Yeah, it's Carnival. Carnival, everyone does their biz. So it's.
Are they when they're helium balloons? Is that where when they talk with a really high voice afterwards?
Oh no, not helium balloons. Sorry, happy. What's the ones that make you happy?
Oh, the ones that you get like trippy for about a minute.
Yeah, so
I was imagining them with really high voices chasing after you. Like,
I was too.
Come on, go take my picture.
So yeah, because of that, yeah, it was that. So that I don't really know. I mean, sorry, I don't really ask for permission when I'm doing the flash. Even at speaker's corner, still I don't. I just take it rather than saying to them, okay, is it cool, whatever.
So Gavin, we got a question here from Jeffrey Breeze. What are your three favorite shots? Top three favorite shots
Of myself,
Yes.
or
Let's go with you first, and then we can go Gildan afterwards if you want.
if I ain't Gordon, I've got a book here, which I'll tell you about it after. But
Let's
my
go with
shot,
you. That's more interesting,
my
actually.
shot's definitely, my shot is definitely the balloon.
The
Um,
balloons, okay.
Hang on a second, because I had this ready for just in case. And also, there's one where it's a lady who's walking down to, it's in Westminster, and she's walking to a red post box. And I'll show you here. Sorry for the delay. And so this one, you can't really see it on my,
Nice.
but that's one of my favorite ones.
I like the way the red pops in that against the background of that building.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And also, I would say there's one of Speaker's Corner, which actually no, this shot here that got me into street photographers, which is of a guy who's in a festival dancing. They will know this shot.
Yeah, I know that shot. Do you know why I picked that shot as well?
I love that shot.
Because I've got that man. I've got him.
Yeah, you've got him. Yes, yeah.
I think you
Yeah,
mentioned
he's
a picture of that guy
I was
too.
looking for him. That's Elvis. It's an Elvis impersonator, and I've been
Oh,
trying
that's
to
the
get
same
him.
guy? Hey, from that angle, he looks like that actor, Crispin Glover, whatever his name is.
Oh,
You guys don't know him? I'm probably
no.
showing my age.
Okay.
Never mind.
I'm 44, so I can't really say nothing. But yeah.
No, he's actually someone I've been trying to find. I do doing a project like with portraits of eccentric people, and I'm trying to get him because I've got him on the street, but I'd really like to get him.
He's an interesting guy.
To do a portrait of him, but all I know is he lives in Chigwell, and he's very. Although he goes out to these festivals and dances like Elvis, he's quite reclusive. I've heard.
Is he actually Brazilian, that guy? Because I noticed
he does wear a belt.
said Brazil.
Yeah, you're right. I've got his buckle and did say Brazil, but I don't think so. I don't think he is. I think he's just an Essex bloke who likes to wear wigs and dress up as Elvis and dance.
Yeah, because he's got two of his there's two ladies as well that hang around with him.
Yeah,
and they go to nightclubs as well apparently.
I think there's only one lady.
That shit apparently works, man.
Possibly.
He's picking up chicks and everything.
He is, yeah. He knows what he's doing.
He's closing the deal. Hey, we got a statement here from Ken from the Picture Palace. He said to get 1 in 5, just lower your standards for the shooting.
I like that. Stop having such high standards. Yeah.
Hey, we've got a question here from Johan Svensson. How have the pandemic changed the style and wide angle and flash in close street photography?
I couldn't really answer that because again, I don't really do the close street photography in flash, and plus with the pandemic, I haven't actually been out doing street photography on the streets for a long time. When we came out of lockdown in last summer, I was going to Speaker's Corner quite often, and I couldn't, of course, go to Westminster because of the sun trap. And now and again, I'll go to Brixton because I like with Brixton. People don't know around the world, Brixton's a vibrant black community area in London, and one of the original black community areas in London, which is close to central London itself. And going there, you're always going to find something quite good to take a picture of. So those are the only places I went to. But with the flash, I never used the flash in Brixton because that's a definite no-go.
A good way to get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
Hey, so I guess let me ask you this real quick, Gavin, before I don't do Johan right here on his question. do you typically use a wide angle with a flash?
No,
wide angle lens. What kind of lens are you typically using?
I'm just using it goes 33mm, and that's it. That's all it is. With a flash.
All the time. It's every time.
All the time, yeah, all the time with my flash. And the settings on my camera, it's also on auto most of the time. Except for Big Ben, where I have to change, of course, the lighting settings, because then you're getting more of a, that's how the shadows work. If I done a normal picture in Big Ben, I have to edit it too much. So I do change manual on Big Ben, but generally it's on auto with my flash. And
do you have a flash that you put on, like you have, or is it in camera flash?
It's in camera. It's a compact camera. I totally forgot to bring it, but it's a compact camera. Sony RX.
That's the Sony RX4?
Oh, it's 4, yeah. And I've been told
with that camera, man.
Thank you, man. I've been told to get a new camera from a friend of mine who goes to Speaker's Corner as well, who's fantastic at his pictures. Craig Bernard. He's one of the best, I think. And he keeps on telling me to get a new camera, which I keep on saying I will. But I'm happy with what I've got. I think, it's the tools that you got. If you're happy with it, then you're happy with it, if that makes sense.
And plus, if you know it, it's kind of like, if you know the camera really well, you get a new camera, then you have that kind of downtime of learning it. And sometimes you get a camera that's supposedly better, and you take shittier pictures because you can't figure it out, right? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah. I mean, and I'll say to anyone, it doesn't matter what camera you have. It really doesn't. As long as you can see what you're doing and you're happy with what you're doing, just go for it. Just be happy with what you're doing. Don't even care about what other people are saying or blah blah. Especially with the Instagram, you be quite judgmental on there. Just be happy with what you're doing, and we'll use what you have to use, and that's it really. So I think if I do, I think if I do go into a different camera, I might change my style. I don't know if that might suit me. If that makes sense. I'm happy with what I've got at the moment, so we'll see. Sorry.
I like the fact that you're using a camera with a built-in flash, and if ever somebody were to listen to us talk, which probably nobody from a camera company, wherever to listen to us talk, put a flash in the camera. It's okay, man, because it makes that camera so much better. I shoot Ricos. I shoot a Ricoh GR3, and one of the things that's just completely heartbreaking for me is the GR2 had a flash, and it was just such an amazing camera. It was just kind of lacking a little bit on the megapixels, but the GR3 is technically a better camera, and I've got it, but it doesn't have a flash, and it really just doesn't look as good as the other one.
I never knew that. I thought the Ricoh 3 had a flash, really, because I was thinking of getting one of those cameras.
3 does not have a flash, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you get the GR2, it's got a flash.
Okay, yeah.
The flash works great. The GR3 doesn't have a flash. I just don't understand why they didn't put a flash in there. You can put a flash on it, but you've got this little camera about this big with this big old flash on top.
Which is a bit. Yeah,
it's kind of like, look at me with the flash. Yeah. Here I come.
I do love the fact that you've said you're quite happy to put it on auto when you're doing your shots, because you can just look at your pictures and look at that series, and it's a great series, brilliant photography, and it's and that says such a lot, because people just starting out who don't really know their camera, they've just got a new camera. They don't really know what they're doing with it. They can have inspiration from that. You can just put it on auto, go somewhere, and get some great pictures.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, my thing is, you can get technical if you know how, but don't get technical if you don't. And just do whatever's natural. Because for me, when I first started street photography, I actually never knew it was called street photography. So I was taking pictures on my mobile phone, and landscapes first, of course, and then pictures of people. And I thought, just put it on Instagram. But then a friend of a friend said, you should start hashtagging your shots. I was like, okay, so I started doing that. Then I realized, there's an open world of people doing the same sort. I wasn't totally going to say I'm the first one who's doing street photography, but I never knew it was so big. And that is the God's honest truth. I never knew it was so big. and started going to like hashtagging London this, London that, London that. London Life featured one of my pictures from busking, and I thought, oh, okay, this is actually a really good thing. But I was enjoying it at the same time, and so from that, it's just it then changed when I've then got a present for my girlfriend, which is this book here called Street Photography Now.
Yep, got that.
Which I really do. Yeah, it's one of the best books for street photographers to actually look at. It then changed my perception of, oh, this is actually, wow, this is amazing. Like, I want to do this. So then again, when I saw Bruce Gilden's work, I thought, yes, that's what I want. Going back to the auto thing, is that you just do whatever it is. So you don't need to have some fancy stuff. Just whatever comes natural to you is what you want to do. And if you enjoy it, then you're going to make good shots. And if you like seeing good shots, then you're going to make good shots. And that's what I think.
Yeah, good for us.
We've got a question here from Jimmy L Photography. What's your inspiration for your projects? And I think that's probably a great question, because I noticed that you do a lot of projects. Is that something that you would recommend? And what's your inspiration for your projects?
Yeah, I do recommend projects because I think it keeps you going. It keeps you going because it's something then you have to think about, rather, because street stuff can get a bit monotonous sometimes, going around streets. And so if you've got a project, then you've got projects, then you've got something to go back on. But the inspiration for the projects is inspiration, because Speaker's Corner is just like a really unique area, and I was like, well, this needs this is good, and I could I do the photography I like doing, and it's just like it needs that sort of broadcast. And again with Big Ben, the inspiration was because I thought it's quite unique that no one has done that before, and just getting the reaction of people seeing that sort of thing, that's the inspiration. The inspiration is just that, really. And I hope there is another project which I've always wanted to do, which I don't want to say because I just want to keep it to myself at the moment. But when I first started street photography, it was basically that. Actually, shall I mention it?
You can do your big release here on Street Badass Live.
Sorry,
if anyone copies it, we know what happens.
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
So
it's actually probably best to say it now, Gavin, before somebody else does it.
Well, that's true. That is true. So the inspiration was when I was taking pictures of people, and I thought, okay, the British thing that we have here is fish and chips. We all like fish and chips. So I thought, if I go to fish and chip shops and take pictures of people at fish and chip shops all around England, that would be a really great project, which I still want to do because I think it will be a great project. But it's just it's the timing of everything. But yeah, so that's a massive inspiration to show like the British side of life, which is fish and chips. It's everyone knows Britain from fish and chips.
I'm really sorry, mate, but I'm doing that project already.
Oh, yeah.
I'm starting tomorrow.
Well, let's go together then.
There's a lot of confusion when I walk into a fish and chips place in England, because they can't understand me when I say cod.
You say like cad.
Cad.
C-A-A-D.
They look at me, right? I said, what kind of fish you want? I said, give me the cod. And they're like, excuse me?
Just say fish.
Just say fish. I have to bring you guys along for a translation.
A translation from American to English.
Yeah. So I get the right kind of fish. I might end up with frog's legs or something. Hey, we've got Frida's asking again here.
As well.
Hey, what design do you like better for presenting your work, Flickr or Instagram?
Instagram all day, because I think with Instagram it reminds me of MySpace, where you've got because I used to make music. That's my first thing, and while we was in MySpace, you had people who are not into music still going to your page and listening to your music, which is quite cool. What Instagram has is that as well. It's like people who are not into photography can still catch your page, and it's an open world. With Flickr, it's too concentrated as photographers. Like SoundCloud is the same thing. SoundCloud is just all music producers, which is good, but you're not getting open open with anyone who's not in photography seeing it. So, oh, that's nice. So I think Instagram is a really good platform, I would say. And look,
what kind of music were you making, Gavin?
Hip hop.
Hip hop music.
Hip hop music, yeah.
Okay, how do we find that?
Not the Lil Wayne or Lil Jon's rubbish. More of the underground.
Like old school hip hop.
Yeah, to a degree. But it was I've done quite well for me because I had tracks featured on radio stations, few radio stations, and yeah. But I just stopped. And then went into photography. So yeah. But you can find me on SoundCloud. I'll put the link on my page. I think that's the best thing to do.
Is it Gavin Robinson? Or do you have a different name?
No, yeah, different name.
Okay, we'll be looking forward to that link. I don't know. I mean, it's a good transition to go into photography. I used to play in a punk band when I was younger.
Oh, cool.
And the thing is when you're in a band and you're rocking and everything like that, it's great as a super young guy. But I'm 55 years old. I don't want to try to be a punk rocker at 55. That's just a bad look. Cause they're going to think if I'm at the show, they're going to think I'm there to pick up some kids. You looking for your kids here, Dad?
You'd be a daft
thing with what's that, Danny?
You'd be a daft punk.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
The thing with photography though is you can shoot until you're an old man, and it's not a young man's game, or it's kind of an anybody's game, which is kind of cool.
I actually think when I get older, maybe I could get away with what Bruce Gilden's doing because I'm older. And it's like, who's this old man doing whatever he's doing? And then maybe I could get like, how is no. But yeah,
I actually think with that guy shooting, he's amazing. What he shoots is it's crazy good. But I actually think it's easier to shoot that kind of photography in New York City than most places because people in New York don't give a shit.
No, no.
Because they've got they're a tourist, and so if they get their picture taken, they're kind of happy. Oh, look, I was in New York. Maybe somebody's discovered me, or something. You never know what's going on.
Yeah.
Or it's somebody who's a businessman, or it's just somebody like doing their thing in New York. And I think it's a lot easier for him to do that there. If he tried to do that maybe in some neighborhood in Atlanta or Detroit or something, it might be different. But I think I like what you said earlier about kind of picking a location and a location that's appropriate so you don't get in trouble, really.
I'd be interested to know from the people watching who else was Bruce an inspiration to? Like who else who's watching was inspired by Bruce? Because I know I was, and it was one shot really. It was the shot with the old lady pushing the other lady.
Pushing the other lady, yeah.
Yeah, and I saw that, and I was just blown away. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That's such an amazing shot, and it'd be interesting to see if anyone could put their hands up. Yeah, so we've got definitely me.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, what I find out is what he captures is that moment. I think with the pictures you have to see it in the eyes. It's all within the eyes and the emotion of the face, and that's what he gets so correct. It's that very moment. And that's what I aspire to with the Speaker's Corner, the Notting Hill, wherever. It's the main thing. It's to get that complete moment. And I think that
eye contact.
The eye contact, not the eye contact, but the eyes, the emotion in the eyes. That's the main thing I think.
So you're looking for emotion. You're trying to catch emotion. Yeah.
You want to see it for the eyes first, and then it goes down. I think once, like with my Speakers projects, yes, there are really good shots with that. I think because of just getting that moment of, you can see, their whole feel, emotion. If that makes sense.
Oh no, yeah, I agree. And that's one thing I suppose I've taken because we can't all be Bruce Gilden, but we can take elements of his work, and I do try as well as you try and capture emotions. That's what I'm looking for, because it's something you can do all year with that as well. You can look at families, different things like that, and there'll always be something going on around you that you can catch that. If you catch that emotion, and if you thought it in your head, that's a nice moment, and you can capture it, then there's going to be a nice photograph,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Hey, we have a question here from RJM Shooter, MCR. Do you guys prefer candid or staged photography?
No, it's stage. No, I can't do stage. Oh, the stage is portrait, I say.
I'd
If you
imagine portrait, yeah.
so if it's so portrait, then no, they're both good. I think they're both good. I think portraits could be just as good as street photography. They both have their elements. It's like with music, hip hop or reggae or rock. It's still the same thing. So yeah, I like both.
I'd say they're both. I suppose if you're talking about street portraits, they're both sort of genres of street photography, because you're on the street and it's not set up as in you've not got a model to come and meet you somewhere. It's just like a person on the street, and you do a portrait.
Mm.
But they are, they are very different things.
Mm.
I suppose I prefer candid, because it's almost like you said earlier, it's like fishing, and you'll look for something and you'll catch it. Whereas a portrait, in a way you are setting it up. So yeah, for me it's candid.
I'm wondering about what moment does somebody that you find on the street that you ask to take a picture of become staged? Is it still, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of it kind of crosses between both street and stage at that point, because it's just happening right then.
Yeah,
and as they're setting it up, you can get the shot where they're still really candid, but you've stopped them.
That's why I still think it's street photography.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's a street portrait, so it's just
street,
yeah.
Oh, hey, we've got a question here from Ken. Do any of you guys make dash from street photography? I'm guessing that means money.
Oh.
I have actually, not a lot, but yeah, I should actually promote this book.
How?
Okay, what's this book here?
It's a London cookbook, and I got featured in it. This is about 5 years ago, I think, and yeah. So from that, this is a few of the pictures that I've done. Let's see.
Did you do those for the book, or did they select them from your gallery?
Right. So some of them were selected, some of them were for the book. So yeah, that's the only time I've made any money, and that paid for my trip to go to New York.
Very nice.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah,
it's a rare thing. I must say, it is a rare thing. I thought we'd all be a no, so well done.
Oh, cheers. That's all right.
Most people don't.
No, they
don't make anything from it. But
no, not at all.
Yeah. I make big zero.
But you see, like I've made nothing else from that. So, but I don't look for it for money anyway. I don't think anyone out there should be looking for anything you create to make money, because as soon as you do that, then you're going to stifle your creation. It's as simple as that. Like with music, you don't go and make music for money. You do it for your love. For photography, it's the same thing. You don't do it to make, I'm going to make this picture to make millions. No, it's not. Just do it for what you love. And if it does, then that's even better. But, that's my viewpoint.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And I think that there's also an element of if you're doing it for the love of doing it, then you can kind of do whatever you want.
100%.
You don't have anybody telling you what to do or asking you to do something or whatever,
Mm.
So we have a question here from Ian. What's the #1 place on your bucket list to shoot?
New York. Because I remember, in the last podcast, Todd, you did mention that New York was the best place, and I agreed to that. Because when I went to New York, we stayed in Brooklyn. We stayed in Brownsville, which is like really bad. But we went to Manhattan, loads of times, and New York is just so everything. And what you said with Bruce Gilden, people don't give a shit. Yeah, they don't, in a way. But at the same time, people walk, they don't, the whole thing is they don't give a shit. They walk, they dress, they don't give a shit. And it's so, everything about it's so vibrant. It's so vibrant. I think if I had a money, I would go back to New York in an instant and take pictures again, because I think it's fantastic.
Where would you shoot in New York? Times Square?
No, I did. I went Times Square. I did 1 or 2 shots in Times Square, which are good. Fifth Avenue was good. I remember that. But I think more Brooklyn was more edgy.
You like Brooklyn?
Yeah, it was edgy. It was edgy. And Coney Islands was good. I like that. That was really good. But I think just anywhere in New York, it's just it's like a living movie, I would say. But apart from New York, living in England, London is a good place, of course. London does have the same similarities to New York with the culture, the vibrancy, and you do catch places in London which is just on par with New York, with say Brixton, Camden, and we got Notting Hill Carnival, which is one of the biggest carnivals in the world, so you can't knock it.
Yeah, the carnival stuff that you shot was insane, man. That one shot with the 2 people with the pink masks.
Oh yeah. They were crazy. Yeah,
that's just out of control, man.
they were random.
I was like, man, I need to go to that party.
Yeah, Carnival is sorry.
No, go ahead. We had a question here. I'm trying to get back to because I'm scrolling.
Okay.
Go ahead and talk there. Sorry about that, Gavin.
I'll say Carnival. Danny, like Carnival is just a real photographer's like Disney World. It's you go there, and it's just. Everything is happening, and it's a free fall. But it's a nice free fall. It's not like some people have a perception of Carnival. Like, oh, it's going to get trouble. It's going to be this, that. It's not at all. Everyone's happy. Everyone is happy. Then with my pictures in Carnival, you notice most people are smiling. Most people are having a good time because that's all it is. And I just, I love it. I used to live next door to Carnival, so it's even better.
Oh, nice.
Just walk down there, when I was in Shepherd's Bush. But yeah, Carnival is something in London, in Europe, in the world that, it's quite an appreciation to go to and experience. And I think even if you're not from London, come over and just come and see what it's like. Get the feel for it, get the smells, the whole lot. It's amazing.
I've got to get down there because I've never been.
You've never been? You need to come with me next time, man. You come with me next
time. Yeah, we got to set up a big trip, man. We'll all go to New York.
We got a date.
That's right. We'll get Gustav and everybody else. We can meet up with Michael. We can meet up with Michael when he goes back.
Yeah, because it's you're gonna get something from Carnival, and even if you don't get like the pictures, you get the drink. You don't get the drink, you get something else. So it's a real good atmosphere. And those people in the pink mask, that was really random because I've not seen anyone like that at all in Carnival ever. And I was quite lucky to actually go along and see them. I was like, whoa, these guys, wow. I thought it was a really good idea.
When I saw those masks, I was just like thinking to myself, like, what the hell is going on?
100%.
That shit's like next level kink, man. Like in the street with a mask on like that.
Yeah.
I kind of love those guys a little bit when I saw that picture because that picture is just so weird.
Yeah. Well, funny with the mask thing, I got told I should wear a Spider-Man outfit next time I go Carnival with my camera.
And I think I might be good. Yeah, Peter Parker.
Yeah. Because you might get a good reaction like, "Whoa, Spider-Man taking a picture of me." So there you are.
That's not a bad idea at all. Maybe I'll come with you then. I don't know. What could I be?
You can be Darth Vader.
Yeah, I could be Darth Vader.
You can be hot. Yeah.
I'm your daddy. Hey, we have Ken is asking from the Picture Place or Palace, Dougie Wallace or versus Bruce Gilden.
Bruce Gilden. I'm going to tell you to you now, like, I'm not someone who, when I came into the photography world, I came in naive, and plus with that, I'll be totally honest with you, I'm not someone who explores the photography world so hard as others do, which, I respect that. I've got books, of course, on photography. I think The Americans is one of the best books I've looked at, and of course the street photography now. But me, it's always going to be Gilden. I'm sorry to be so one-dimensional on that, but it's just going to be that. Although some of my other shots are not like Gilden, they're very street photography. You have this juxtaposition and blah, so on and so forth. But yeah. So if you ask if they get any question about this versus that, it's going to be Bruce Gilden every single time he wins. He's got the WWE Championship belt.
He's top.
You can't beat Elvis. Can't beat Elvis, baby.
That's true.
What about you, Danny?
Yeah,
I really do like Dougie Wallace, and he's another one. When I was looking at different street photographers when I first started getting into it, he was another one that stood out, and he was like, he's got a book by Hoxton's Mini Press, and it's mostly shot around Shoreditch. I think it's called Shoreditch, Shoreditch something or other. But
it's good shots.
Yeah, that's a pretty amazing book. And he's done a few good projects as well. One in India, I think, with cab drivers. He's done some people around Harrods and like the ladies that have all the work done. So he's young at the end of the day. Bruce Gilden's a lot older. He's done a lot more work, really. So ask me in 30 years and I'll tell you.
Yeah.
We have another comment here from Ken. He's saying if he wasn't in Magnum, he'd get knocked out. So I'm guessing he's saying that Gilden would get knocked out if he wasn't in Magnum Photos.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I watched something on him recently, and he has gotten away with people, and he says that's one thing that he knows he's got, and he can't. That's why not everyone can do what he can do, because he has a certain charisma with people. So when they do react, he can mellow, sort them out very quickly, sort of get them calmed down very quickly, which is a skill. If he's got he's got photography. It's a good combination.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes some fast talking if you get somebody super pissed off. You don't want them grabbing your camera or something like that, or kicking your ass.
No.
Just from personal experience, I find like the closer you are to like a big kind of crowded area, like that's one thing I really liked about you going to that speaker's corner, and it kind of made sense to me when I thought about, that's a crowded area, people are expecting it. It's one thing that like about going to Times Square completely makes sense, because you can just shoot, you could basically just stand there and shoot all day, and I've done it. I've done it for like just hours, flashing right in people's faces, and maybe 3 people got kind of pissed off at me and said something, and I just said, it's Times Square, and then what can they say,
Yeah, sure, yeah, because it's an area where you expect it to happen anyway, so...
Yeah, if you do that, like, people, go ahead, Danny.
We're quite lucky. We're quite lucky in the respect that I've got London sort of 40 minutes away. It's probably about the same for you, and obviously you've been to New York, and you've got you've been to lots of different places, like cities. There's people out there that love street photography that can't get to cities. They're nowhere near anywhere built up. So I do feel lucky in that respect, because it is so much easier when it's a built up area. There's lots of people around.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
I think it is easier, but I think that you can go, I don't know, it's great, New York City. New York City's kind of like shooting fish in a barrel, because you just have like this opportunity after opportunity. I'd imagine it's a lot like that in London too, especially if you got people coming out of the metro. They're coming out, looking at Big Ben, that's great, because you got all these people, and then you can find your shot in there. But if you're in a smaller town, it's more work. But there's a lot of stuff out there that you see on Instagram with street photographers that there's a lot of people from like Florida. And I got to call out to Florida. I spent so much time there. Big shout out to Florida here. But there are a lot of people in Florida that are shooting street photography there. And it's a different vibe. But, obviously you can't really flash like you can in Manhattan. But there's a lot of cool stuff that they're taking. I can't remember her name right now. I'm very embarrassed. The lady out of Jacksonville, Danny.
Oh, Linda.
That's right, Linda.
Melnick.
Yeah, she does some really great stuff. In fact, she just went out to they had Bike Week out in
I see that.
And she shot some really great stuff out there in Bike Week, and that's really fun stuff to see. So before we get too excited about New York and London, there's other places too.
I mean, look at Susan Stein. Do you know Susan Stein?
Yeah.
We know when she was in LA and doing her pictures around there, Skid Row, that area, So there's projects that you can do from certain areas. So And that she's actually inspired me as well when I first saw her shots. And I think, okay, yeah, I could do this, like, you know. So yeah, you're right. Yeah, there is other areas, 100%. There's India, there's Africa, there's loads of places you could do this thing.
Well, to be honest, the pandemic, I think it has made a lot of people really look at their local areas because it's the only places they could go, and that's helped me like make a whole project really, just looking at all my sort of local shots. So you know, in a way, there's been benefits from the pandemic, I think, and that's one of them.
Yeah. Mm.
Hey, see, I wanted to ask you about you did a collaboration. So I noticed that you had some speaker corner shots that were together with Acts of Dogs.
Yeah.
Acts of Dogs.
Yeah.
That shit's crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
The fact that like you were able to match a dog set with the speaker corner sets is crazy. How did you guys come up with that concept to start doing that?
So with that, there's someone who actually told me that my pictures look like his. And that's Chloe Juno, and her stuff is fantastic. She takes pictures of rubbish on the floor. Sounds basic, but when you look at her pictures, it's street photography in a different way, and it's still photography that's fantastic. And that's a different direction, you know. But anyway, she said to me, "Oh, you know, your pictures are like." I was like, "Yeah, they do actually." So one day when I was at home, bored, I edited one to his. I was like, "Bloody hell, that's actually really good." And then I did another one, and another one. It's like, oh my god, these pictures are actually collaborating really, really well. Even to me, I think this is like a shock. Like, wow, this is like, you know, Acts of Dog, his name's Ben. Even he says it's like the parallel universe meets again, and it is that. It's just like these shots are so bang on. It's unbelievable, and it's a project which I'm super hoping that we get this forward, because we were meant to do an exhibition last year, but COVID came in. So hopefully with things getting back together in England, we could start doing something again. But it's something I really want to push, and of course Ben wants to push, and you know Chloe's behind it as well. And yeah, it's amazing. It's actually amazing how, you know, the speaker's corner where you have people who are vocal, shouting, blah blah, and you've got these dogs doing the same sort of thing, and it's just bad, the same image. I mean, they were not made, you know, we didn't go out and say, okay, you're going to go that day, I'll go that day, we're going to do the same sort of thing. It was nothing like that at all. It was just basically me making my shots years ago and his shots years ago, put them together, and that. So yeah, it's fantastic.
We have a suggestion here from Ren Doggy. Gav, you and Ben should make a book.
Yeah, and yeah, we want the book exhibition a whole lot. We want to push it out there because it's unique. So yeah, we are hoping to do that.
I really see that as a book, actually. It'd be
I can't. That'd be a great book.
It's
so much fun to look at those pictures, man.
Yeah, it is fun, and it's fun editing it as well, because what I have to do is, it's quite long, but I have to look at my shot. I think, okay, there's that shot. Then I have to go into his page and then go through every shot and think, okay, which one's which one? And then sometimes okay, that one. No, that one. So it's quite a process of actually editing, getting the right shot for that shot. But because I know in my head the speaker corner shots I've done, then I could just keep it in my head and think, okay, this goes to that shot, you know. So it's fun editing. It's fun.
Can you sometimes sort of flip his picture so that the the person who's on the same size as yours?
Yeah, that's happened. There's a few shots flips, so they then are actually the one. But it's still mad. It's of these dogs, like, you know, the same as humans, doing the same. It's crazy. That should be like, scientists should look into this. Hopefully, then I'll make £1 million.
that might be the thing right there. The one that sticks out, there's a guy, a Santa. Am I remembering this correctly? There's a Santa with a black face.
Yeah,
and then there's like a black dog down below.
Yeah, the dog. Yeah, he's actually a guy that goes around London quite a lot. He's quite a famous guy who dresses like that, and he came to Speaker's Corner, and what
did he have to say?
Nothing much.
Just hanging out.
Just hanging out, yeah. But he's quite famous. He's got his own Facebook page and everything. He's quite a famous person in London because he's very eccentric. So when you see him, you see him.
Can you put a link, please? Because
I'd like to know who that guy is.
Yeah.
For me, that one.
He's I thought, because I ain't seen him in a long time, because I used to do a lot of street photography in London. I ain't seen him for a long time, and I saw him in Speaker's Corner. I was like, oh yeah, he's still around. So yeah.
What
But
I wanted to ask you, because you hang around Speaker's Corner a lot, have you ever been convinced by any of their arguments?
no, never. But in saying that, and this is respect to the people who are there, because I know my pictures make it look a bit. It's like, wow, what the hell's going on? And it is that, it really is that. But with respect to the people who are there, is that, you know, there's one or two who, when you actually listen to them, it's really interesting talk. There is some really interesting speakers there who you think, wow, that actually makes sense. It's not about religion. It's just about, you know, whatever's happening in society now. And they're the ones I think, right, they need a voice, and that's good that Speaker's Corner gives them that voice, you know. The religion ones, they're doing what they're doing. They believe in their religion, fair enough, you know. So you do what you have to do. And even like one of them who's been going there for 30 years, I think it's even longer than that. You know, me and him are actually good friends, and you know, he gives me all his blessings all the time, and I think that blessing's working, you know. So I'll give respect to all of them who are there. I really do. You know, because they're doing, to get up on a Sunday morning and think, okay, I'm gonna shout at everyone at Hyde Park. You know, that takes a lot of doing, more than what I'm doing. So.
So is it only once a week that they do that, or is it every day?
It's right now. It's once a week, so it's once every Sunday, and it's
really? Okay.
And it's been going for God knows how long, hasn't it? It's been, you know, even when I was a kid, I remember going there.
Well, I knew about Speaker's Corner before photography. That's why I went there. So I usually go there just now and again to see what they're saying. So I knew about it before the photography. So it wasn't just something I just jumped on. But it's been going on since the 18th century, and it used to be a place. It used to be a place where they hang people, and then there was a bit of protest against hanging, and because of the protest there, it then turned into a place of speech. Okay, I'm going to say this, say that, and it's been going on since then. So it has a history behind it, a real in-depth history behind it, which is really good. And I hope it carries on going because, you know, we need that sort of thing.
Have you ever
thought of a question from you? Go ahead, Danny. Go ahead,
Danny. I just didn't know if you wanted to go into maybe a little bit of documentary work on it. Just more of a documentary view of Speaker's Corner, because you've got a lot of pictures there that you could write about it as well, you know.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that is something I do want to go forward with that project, because it needs that, I think. And I've seen other books on Speaker's Corner, and they're really good. So I do want to go on that side and finish that out. Yeah.
Here's a question from Craig O'Bernard. How do you see
he's a guy. That's the guy. Sorry, that's the guy who I say Craig knows that he's one of the guys at Speaker's Corner. His pictures are masterclass. Anyway, but sorry, what's the question?
His question was, how do you see street photography progressing?
I think with street photography progressing, I think it always, from me being, I still think I'm a baby in this thing. But from what I see of it, I think it will. I don't think it will die out at all. I think it will keep on going because people have mobile phones. People can go out and take pictures, and as long as people know what they're taking pictures of, then it's fine. It will progress into. It could progress. I think it will progress more into documentary work. To tell you the truth, because I think with street photography itself, of going out taking pictures of the street on Instagram, which I've noticed is that it's a lot of it now happening. From even when I joined, it's a lot of it happening. So. Okay, fair enough. That's cool. You know, take your pictures and do what you have to do. Nothing against that at all. But I think with it, I think documentary work is where it's key, and I think it more focus into that, if that makes sense.
I've actually noticed. I went to Greenwich today just with the family for a little walk, and I'm pretty sure I couldn't go up to them really because I was with the family, but I'm pretty sure I saw 4 street photographers there. So and that, well, in my time doing it, I've never seen that many around. So
that's
crazy. Think possibly there's a bit of a boom going on, and I don't know whether it's to do with the pandemic or not. But yeah, I think there's quite a few people. I'm gonna have to let my dog out because it's making loads of noise. 1 second.
That's cool.
No problem, man. I know that there's a ton of street photographers in the UK. Just a ton. And I noticed that there's also a lot even in like Sweden and Scandinavia. There's a ton of street photographers.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And just everywhere. I even noticed, like I mentioned Florida, like I never knew that there were so many in Florida, but they're popping up everywhere in Florida. And I mean, that's a long ways from New York City.
And that's a good thing. Out of that, you're going to get someone who's like doing a masterclass street shot. So, it's only good in that progression. Because you're going to get one or two people who are just like, wow, amazing shot. So that's a good thing.
Ian says that there's a danger in some places that they are so busy with photographers that we will be all shooting other photographers.
Well,
yeah, but we do, don't we?
As long as it's a good shot, then that's fine.
I always try and get the photographer every time.
I do too, man. I have to say it. If I see somebody with a camera, I always take their picture.
Yeah, try and get them.
I do. I'll get them, and then they'll see me, and I'll go.
That's the way, man. Go on. No, go on, then.
I know. I do, like when we were talking about series and projects earlier, I do think that it's a really good idea for people to get some sort of series, some sort of project on the go, because what happens is during sort of the lean months, like during the winter time over here, when there's not so many people about and the light's not so good, if you've got a few projects going, it does, like you said earlier, it keeps you going. It keeps you
going.
Sort of, yeah. It keeps you interested.
And it was, yeah. No, sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, I really think it's a really good thing to do, just to have a couple of projects going. I mean, today, obviously, I've got the Keep Calm and Carry One feature page, so I'm obviously always looking for that. And today, about 3 or 4 I've got. I didn't get much else, but at least I've got that. It's something you can always look for.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I think as well, also it with the projects, it enhances your way of taking the picture. I think, because I was doing street photography all the time. I don't think I'll be changing my style to be, So yeah, projects do keep you on that level.
Would you say that would be your biggest tip to give somebody, Gavin, is to do a project?
Yeah. You have to, in a sense, like making music. You're not going to make music just to make music. You're going to make music because you want to make an album. So it's the same thing. You're going to do photography. You're going to do photography. So you want to make it into a book and do it to document something which you have seen, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's the same principle, I would say. It's
the next step to creating, because I mean, with street photography, you are creating something, but when you do a project, it's almost like a piece of artwork, isn't it? It's your idea, it's your baby,
That's true. Yeah.
Hey, so let me ask you a question that's about the UK. Now, you guys talk about shooting in the summer, like it's real great there. Is it really that bad in the winter? Because I've never really been there in the winter time.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's just bleak, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just kind of like the lights pretty flat.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say the difference is quite big, actually. I'd say you get about 3 months a year when you can get some great light, and it pops the pictures much better. And obviously the people as well. You'll get people out on the street. They'll dress more eccentrically. They'll be having more of a good time. Whereas if you go there during the winter, or if you go to London during the winter, there'll be people around, but they've all got coats on. They've got, and there's not so many people around. So yeah, it's definitely a summer. It's always better in the summer, isn't it?
It's always better in summer. Yeah. I would say that's.
What do you think about the summer light though? Is it harsh like it is everywhere else, or is it just that kind of beautiful northern light?
You don't really get harsh summers there, do you? You have about a week, and that's about it.
No, that's it, huh?
No, really,
that's heat.
Because Gustav was talking about it last week, wasn't he? And I do think he's right. You get a lovely light. You do get a lovely light in London, and I mean, it's not too harsh. It's just right. It's a lovely light.
I would say with that in hand, though, for street photographers out there, listen, it doesn't, just go out there whenever. You could take a good picture wherever, whenever. It doesn't matter, light, day, night, whatever. It just matters of the moment. So, don't, with any new street photographers out there, don't limit yourself just to it being a nice weather, it being daytime, it being nighttime. It's all about that moment, and that's it. You know.
Yeah.
And if you're going to get a camera, get one with a flash in it.
If you wanna, you don't have to.
Hey, here's a question from Frida. Do you delete your cards or do you save all your photos for later?
I'll save everything. I don't really delete much.
You put it on a hard drive?
I'm really bad. I just keep it on my cards holds a lot of pictures. I do delete some pictures of there, of course, because they're not great, so I'm not going to keep them. The ones I want to keep, they're kept on my card. I'm quite lazy. I'm really bad with this. You know, I don't have a hard drive. I have a hard drive for some of my pictures, but some of them are on here or the phone that we're looking through now. So yeah.
I think I've got about 20,000 on hard drives now.
Wow.
Not all street photography. Not all street photography. Just like obviously, I've got 3 kids, so days out and all sorts. But yeah, I've got a lot of photographs on my computer.
Hey, we have Linda Svensson here. She's asking, is it hard to choose a project? How do you choose?
It's how do you choose? You choose by what you want yourself from your photography. So, Speaker's Corner, I knew that my photography would suit there, so I did that. Big Ben came by chance. But the fish and chips one was because I was thought, okay, this is Britain, and I know there might be some really good shots of British people. So yes, you choose by culture, I suppose. Yeah, that's it. There you go. You choose by culture, like even Notting Hills.
That's a great answer. Yeah.
Yeah, you choose by that, and you want to emphasize that to people, you know. So that's what you want. You want people to show where you're from. So yeah.
So is that how you chose yours as well, Danny? When you do the Eccentrics series, was it kind of a cultural thing? So I think that you guys in England have some pretty unique type of things going on there. Like, for example, the fish and chips is unique. That's not really a whole lot of other places, maybe Australia or something, but...
Well, the 2 projects are This Is Essex and the Eccentrics is like in 2 parts in a way, but I've always been fascinated with eccentric people, so I suppose... Yeah, living in Britain, you tend to get more eccentric people maybe than some other places. But This Is Essex was more of a project and caused by the pandemic, really, and it just made me look at those shots and maybe think about what is an Essex character, what is a typical Essex person. So that's how that developed. So yeah, partly the pandemic for the This Is Essex, and then the Eccentrics was just a fascination from me, really, in general.
Yeah, and that's that's your area. That's where you want to show off. So to that question, is that where you're from, show it. That's photography. Show it to whatever degree. So yeah.
We have a comment here from Ren Doggy. Australia is far from eccentric.
I don't know.
I've got a friend of mine who's Australian.
I
don't know if I agree with that. I got some friends who are Australian, so I don't know. We'll have to agree to disagree on that one.
And shouts to you as well for coming in, because she said that she couldn't actually watch this because it's so early in the morning. So thank you for coming through.
Yeah, it probably is. 100%. Isn't it? Oh, wow.
What time is it out there in Australia right now, Ren Doggy?
That's about 4 o'clock or 6 or whatever.
Is it really? It's that early in the morning?
Yeah, way ahead of us. Yeah, so.
Wow.
No, thank you. That's
sorry, Australia.
All the support as well. All the support. Seriously, humble thank you. So, because it does, it does. So Instagram is like the likes, and I don't really look at likes, but there is support you do get from Instagram. And I really do appreciate it. I really do, to a massive degree.
It's 5:19 a.m.
5:19.
Morning.
All of you that are tuning in from Australia, we appreciate you getting up in the middle of the night almost.
Go get a coffee.
That's the time I wake up to watch the Formula 1 race in Australia. So that's dedication.
Go get the Barbie on.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Well, I tell you what, we really appreciate you coming on. Gavin.
Thank you.
It's been an honor having you on here, and it's been a great discussion. And keep in contact. Let us know if any kind of book comes out, or if you have any kind of exhibition or anything like that. And
well, there's an exhibition coming through for the Cube Gallery. That's coming through at the end of the month. So I'll send links through that. There's an online exhibition. It's an online exhibition.
It's online.
Oh, it's online.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there'll be that, and
what,
so yeah,
what are they exhibiting?
It'll be me and other great photographers. There's about 8 of us, I think. Matthew Roberts, who I know personally, shout out to him. So it's all our pictures on, humanity, basically. But you see when you see it, it should be good. Should be good.
Okay, if you go ahead, Gavin.
There's one thing I wanted to say. This is going back now to the conversation of Acts of Dog, which is again with that as well. Hopefully, I don't think this year, maybe next year. So I'll speak to Ben and we'll sort something out. But that will be going forward. But when you talk about similarities of the pictures, which I find interesting, it's not just the pictures; it's our life. So with him, he grew up near the same area as me in London. We're into the same sort of music as well, and it's like we moved out of London at the same time. It's like we have such a similarity in life that it's like the pictures represent that as well, which is really it's like wow. So
it was meant to be. It was fate.
Yeah, because Instagram's a massive place. Instagram's a big place. Look, Paris, Essex is big. So, but it's for that to be so like that, it's like wow. So that project, we are going to push that forward as well. So look out for it, the Acts of Dog, Ben, and follow his page as well because you need to. It's one of the best.
Brilliant.
But
thanks again, Gavin. We appreciate it, and thanks so much, Danny. I appreciate it. Everybody have a great evening.
Can I just quickly?
Absolutely, Danny.
Okay, so I think last week I mentioned it. It's F8 documentary, a Zine that they do about every couple of months, I think. And this is volume 2. And I'll just flip the camera if I can. Okay, so
you got volume 2 there of F8?
This is volume 2 of S8. We've got Gisela, who I talked about her book a couple of weeks ago or last week. She's in this. It's more of a documentary style, so like each series is about 5 shots and a bit about each project. There's Martin Mayer, Mark Pinder, Andrew Moore, Gisela, David Gilbert Wright, and Craig and Simon Tasker, all in it. It's available, fistful of books. It's a Zine, but it's really good and it's well worth buying.
Nice one.
Loads of pages.
Sweet.
Little promotion for that. I'd get
lovely.
That. Nice call out there. No shout out.
Yeah, wicked.
All right, guys. Appreciate it, everybody.
Well, I'll just say
anything else you'd like to add there, Gavin?
Yeah, last was all you photographers out there is just keep on doing what you have to do. Big up to all of you. Keep doing what you have to do. Just do it. Take pictures, and enjoy it. Because that's what it's all about. And look, we're all having fun. So yeah, just fantastic. And both of you as well. Like, both of you, so much love. Fantastic.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Gavin. All right, buddy. Thanks, Danny. Thanks, Gavin.
Sweet.
You guys have a great evening. We really appreciate it, buddy.
See you later, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Bye, guys.